Okay. Well, hello, Aini. It's so good to see you again. Thank you for joining me on this call. And for those watching, my name is Betsy. I'm a partner at Summit Church, and I've had the opportunity to get to know Children's Hope Chest over the last couple of years. In one way by us going to Ethiopia last year with Summit, and we got to meet iCare. So Summit partners with Hope Chest. It's a specific care point in Ethiopia called iCare for the Nation. This was started and is led by the wonderful Aini, who's here with me today, who's graciously joined me. And this call is part of a series of conversations that Summit is doing to check in with our global partners. And today I have the privilege of talking with Aini and hearing just how she and how the ministry have been doing this year. So Aini, as I've already mentioned, by sharing your name, would you tell us a little bit about yourself and your family and iCare for the Nation?
This is Aini, a founder and director of iCare for the Nation. I'm married and having 3 boys, 20, 90, and 58 years old. All are boys, so they're my friends. We have 250 women in iCare for the Nation who are supported in IGA program. Because our intention is making family sustainable income, bringing a family sustainable income in order to support the children forever. And we have also 300 children in our project, in our care point. But 153 children are part of the Children's Hope Chest program. And the rest children are on our waiting list. Still, we are trying to find out to have their sponsors. And we have training centers. Actually, we have very narrow compound, but we are trying to give trainings for IJ program for women who are the mothers of our children. So we are trying to make and give trainings interchangeably. When we start one training, we will stop other trainings. And when we start other training, we will stop the other trainings too. We have a weaving training center. We have a cotton spinning machine training. We have now recently we start sewing machine training. And we have also barista management training. We have also a laundry clothes washing program training for the women. And also we have a nanny management training. But according to the limited space that we have, we couldn't give all the training schemes at a time. So we are trying to give the trainings phase by phase. So far, we trained 122 women, and most of the women got a chance to have a good money by employing themselves, or some of them started their own business. That's the big thing that we are seeing change in the family. And most of them are now okay from mental stress. That's our main goal. Because of the training, when we give the training for the women, we have 2 types of trainings. The first is a psychotherapy program, and the second is actually the IJ, income generating program, income generating activities program. So before they join to the income generating program, we are trying to counsel them and have a time with them in the psychotherapy program, because when they come to us, most of them are totally depressed and confused and stressed because of the life they passed through. So in order to make them free, in order to make them to have a free mind, and in order to set them free, We are trying to being with them, talk with them, and listen them, and so that they became free from the stress. Then after they became free the stress, we transferred them to the IJ program, the income generating activity. So that's why we became effective in the IJ program center. So at this moment, we are. It is a COVID time actually. It's very difficult when we start sewing a new sewing machine project in February, and after 1 month and a half, we just stopped. And I think the government declares that you have to stay at home and work at home. That policy was declared by Ethiopian government. So we stopped everything in relation to the training. But before 1 month, we just start again. And the new sewing training women will graduate next week. Phase of the sewing program, and hopefully you will see from my report, or I will post it in your wall, so you can see how the feeling looks like after COVID, and the success story for the project.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's good to hear that they're starting up again. That's great. So yeah, you shared a little bit about how the women are helped and served. Can you share a little more about the community that's there with the women? How do you support these women in community, the vulnerable families and women that are part of iCare, other than the income generating activities and more in the psychotherapy way?
Yeah, when we support the women, actually, and before COVID, there are big challenge actually when they come to us. They have a big challenge, not only the psychotherapy but also economic. They couldn't afford to pay to buy the school materials for the children. They couldn't afford to buy food for the family. It was a serious issue actually, especially for the mom. For the family, it's so hard when they have no anything to give to their children. So we were giving to the family for some foodstuffs and monthly basis sometimes, and sanitation materials, and in addition to other supports. And we try to fulfill the school requirements, the school the education materials like exercise books, pen, pencil, a bag, uniforms, shoe for the children, and normal clothing too. And also we have gatherings in the holiday because they feel like inferior when the holiday comes, because they have nothing to celebrate equally to the other people around them. So we tried to give them some foodstuffs related to the holiday, and we have a gathering in the compound to eat together, to hug together, to laugh together, to play together, so that gives them someone is loving them. So we're trying to support in different ways, not only in IJ, not only in psychotherapy, but also in a family way. We are trying to be together with them, and we are going to their home to visit, and we are sitting in the floor because this is the life of them. So that impressed them, and that gives them some picture that somebody is loving in them. So I think in every direction we are together with our families, our children's family, so that they felt like they are loved. And that's the way that we are spreading the gospel, how Jesus loves them. Practically, when we are going to them, love them, and talk to them, they have a picture how God is loving in them, loving with them. So I think we tried to fulfill all the gaps as much as possible, but still we are progressing, and we can see many changes in their face, in their home, and also praying for the family too, the children, the women, every family to be changed economically, spiritually, socially. So you can see the fruit at this time. So this is how we are interacting and helping the people by going and bringing them to us, and by hugging and supporting the need of the our care point people.
Yes, as you can see it so quickly when we got to visit, just the children and all the women just run with joy and excitement, calling you and calling all the volunteers by name and giving such a big hug. So I know that it's brings such a good change, and yeah, you can see the gospel just unfolding every day that we get to witness it. So it was an honor to be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, you started iCare for the Nation even before it became part of Hope Chest. Can you tell us a little bit more about the partnership with Hope Chest and with Summit Church, and how that's impacted iCare?
That's a very interesting question to me. I found iCare for the Nation before 10 years. It was so hard actually at that time. I was praying to ask God, what's my place? I don't want to be a place that God is recognized. So I was asking God, what's my place? What's my assignment? What's the purpose of me when He creates me in this world? So when God brings some ideas related to the woman and related to children, and I was part of the challenge, especially the woman side. So at that moment, God teaches me many things, like how I can support the women who are affected, actually vulnerable one, and who are abused, divorced, and pushed by the community, the society trained. So that was my decision to support the women, because I know how it's difficult to handle at home and outside. So I was actually at that time I was working in Compassion International as a social worker, and that was the point. Actually, I can see the women and the children while I was doing a home visit. It was so hard to see them in that situation. And I felt like that woman is me. So I'm asking myself, what can I'm expecting from somebody to bring out me from that situation? That's my point. So when I start that organization, after I was working in Compassion, I joined to another NGO as a finance and admin manager, and it was a big salary and it was a good position for the eyes of the people. But my heart was with the woman, and my heart was with the children. So after 2 years, I decided to establish this NGO. And when I established this, it was a requirement from the government that I have to assign someone who could be a manager. And at that time, I have a heart, I don't have money. I was using my almost a big 75% like that of my salary, going to give to the women who are sitting around the street to start their own business and to have their own income. And it was crazy for the most of my friends and my family. But for me, it creates a joy. So continuing like that, but after some time, I established formally because of the government requirement. And finally, when they're asking me to assign someone as a manager, so I just leave my job and became manager in I Care for the Nation. It was also another crazy idea for the people, and it was so hard to manage at that time. And but after some time, I was praying, and many of my friends coming to me to pray together and to have a door. Uh, to get someone stands with us, supports us financially, and even ideally. Then after 2 years prayer, I heard about Children's Hope Chest. I didn't know before, and one of my friend told me there's an organization called Children's Hope Chest, which is a Christian organization. Do you know that organization? She said, no, I didn't know. So she said that I will find out the office number and I will let you know. Okay. And then she told me the phone number and she directed me the place they were. And then I went there, and Tasfa Zion was a leader at that time. And I told everything to them. And Tasfa Zion, I thank Tasfa Zion. He listens me everything. And finally, after I talked to him, and I think the Florida Summit Church sent a team and see how they our office and see how we are working there. And finally, they decided. I'm glad to meet them in such a way. It's for me, it's a miracle. It's an angel. Because many people are telling me, you are crazy. You lost your job, you lost your money, and you became a volunteer manager in I Care for the Nation. What are you doing? And I said to them, it's my pleasure. It's the order that God gave me. So I have to do that. And I trust God. He can provide to me and to my family. And finally, they can see God is working in I Care for the Nation. Yeah. And I'm very much glad. I didn't forget that time. I made Children's Hope Chest, and really appreciate, and I love Children's Hope Chest so much, and I love the Summit Church people. I have no words to say thank you to become part of our project and support our program, even not only for the children support, but also in the IJ and Family Sustainable Income Project. And so I always appreciate, and I always proud of them that you guys are supporting us, being with us, think like us, and stand with us, and plan together with us how we can support and change, bring a change in the people we are supporting, we are engaging to support.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. Yes, so you've already shared some of how I Care was operating before COVID-19 and how the many activities and trainings were going. What does it look like now this year in the midst of it? I understand there was the shutdown, and can you tell us more about this season?
It was terrible, actually. It was terrible, even though it's not only in Ethiopia, even though it's all over the world, but in our case, it was terrible. Immediately when COVID starts in Ethiopia, the government loudly speaks to close everything and declare stay-at-home, work-at-home policy. For our for our CarePoint family, it's so difficult. The first thing, schools are closed. The second thing, our children's family stopped working so that they couldn't have income because they are working daily and getting a daily income. When everything shut down, so they couldn't have anything to eat even. And even we can't help to them to give sanitation materials like sanitizer, gloves, and face mask because it was very expensive. Even though not only very expensive, but also it was not available in the market because we are not ready. Ethiopia were not ready that COVID is coming. So getting a face mask is very difficult at that time, even though if you have even money to buy. So crazy, actually. It's crazy. It was crazy for our kids, and even how we can keep the kids to stay at home, seriously. Because they are living very intimate places. So it was hard to explain to them to keep themselves from COVID. And we were calling to each family every week. How are you doing? Is there anything? Please keep your kids, please stay at home, please don't go out. And most of the women didn't listen, don't go out from home because they have to go out to get something to eat and to buy for the family. Finally, we decided to give some foodstuffs until if COVID changes and if COVID stops or minimizing to spreading. And then we went to an organization, it's an international organization, to ask the COVID kit in order to protect the family from the infecting from the virus. So we get 200 COVID kits and we distribute to them. Most of the children and the mom was affected mentally because they feel like they became even again like putting under themselves under the people who are expecting someone to support them. It was not the intention before we start the program. Dependency was a big challenge for them, but at COVID time, they imposed to be dependent on someone, like neighbors like that, friends, families, some organizations like that. So it was so difficult, actually. Words cannot express how it was hard to. The good thing is our government, Ethiopia government, specifically our Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, declared that a shared what we call it in Amharic, Ma'ad Magarat. In Amharic, Ma'ad Magarat mean sharing our food, sharing our lunch, sharing our dinner, sharing our breakfast. And he declares and strictly declares that everyone should be shared to their neighbors. So I think that helps to be shared from the neighbor side. So now it's very okay. Before COVID, our program is running freely. Nothing is stopped us, and the trainings were continuing as a schedule, based on the schedule. But immediately when COVID comes, everything stopped. And almost 3 or 4 months, the office even didn't open. We just went 2 or 3 days a week. We only staff, And then the beneficiaries couldn't come. The government strictly ordered us because in order to prevent the intimacy, the connection of the people gathering when they come to the project. So the government was restricted us, so the beneficiaries couldn't come there. We the staff are going and trying to call and encourage them, and sometimes there are many affected families, so we just send the money through their bank account because we couldn't meet them in person. It was impossible to meet them in person, so they can buy a food to eat for survival. Before a month, the government starts losing the restrictions. So we started again the training. Actually, we started sewing training in February, and it was planned to have a 3 months training, but immediately after 1 month and a half training, we stopped, we closed. So before a month, we reopened our office and training center with a very caution and with a very careful situation. So the first cycle of sewing training are finished now. And by next week, God willing, we will have a good celebration to congratulate the team, the first team of sewing project.
That's wonderful. That's really good news to hear that they could resume the sewing training and will be graduating soon. That's so great. Yeah. So, Aini, how have you seen God be faithful to you and to the iCare community in this season? It sounds like there have been so many challenges.
God is always faithful in every situation. This is what I can say. It's not only in iCare, but also in my life. God is so faithful. I trust God, and I told to the people, I trust God. I'm trusting God. I don't want to see the situation around, but I can see God's hand in my life and in my mission and vision that God sent to me. So I can see His faithfulness a big loudly. He is providing everything that we are asking Him. He is changing the mind of the women who were depressed and distressed. Who we can see the changes in the life of the children too. We can see the relationship are rebuilding in each family, and we can see many women and children are accepting Christ as their savior, and God helped us to open a Bible study and a prayer team within 10 houses in our beneficiaries. That's a very big deal for us. This is all coming from God's faithfulness. We really trust Him, and He is trustful. So words cannot express how God is faithful to me and to my vision, and the children and the women who are supported in iCare for the nation, not only the actually the beneficiaries, but also the staff, the volunteers are totally changed. This is, I think, God's intervention and His faithfulness to show us how He is a trusted God. So really, God is very trustful.
Yes, amen. That's wonderful. Yes. How can we at Summit be praying and continue praying for you and for iCare for the nation?
Yeah, I need prayers. I'm still praying with 4 serious praying topics. Actually, I can summarize them in one prayer. I'm praying to have a door to explore our program, and we need to interfere in the challenges of the community in Ethiopia. I don't want to see any poor people, youth, women, children. So I'm praying that to have a door for the youth empowerment program. You may hear that after COVID actually, there were a big unrest in Ethiopia. It was so difficult. It was so hard to handle. Even we had a COVID and at the same time unrest. And that unrest actually did by many youngsters. And when I see that youngsters, they have jobless or they have no job and they are unemployed, and that unemployment brings them to put themselves to unwanted situations that they were engaged in, to kill people, burn the car, to burn houses, and even it's very hard to explain how it was very arrogant situation we had. So in order to make in order to bring a sustainable peace in the country, we have to train the youngsters, and we have to create jobs for the youth in order to make calm for the situation. So we're praying to have a door to stand with us in youth empowerment program in a rural area and urban area. And also we are trying to expand our program even in the rural areas to empower farmers in order to produce substitutions that Ethiopia is forced to import in. And even there are children who are living in a rural area having a chance to educate themselves because there is no school set up there. And I feel so sorry for the kids there. So we want to interfere there, and we want to go there and support by bringing school materials and some school renovation system. So we actually I want to have a prayer for you. To pray for us in order to help God, in order to help bring a help from God to start our new programs for the youth empowerment in urban and rural, the empowerment of farmers for substitution production, and the children who are in the rural area who have no school set up. So this is a very crucial question that we are now praying to God to open a door, to have a door, and to have someone to stand with us and to run with us and to work with us in order to achieve the goal of what we are calling peace sustainability. Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. We will be praying and hope to continue to stand with you in that and see those things come through. Yes. Yes, so one more thought, if you could tell us a little bit about how Summit can get involved and begin participating either now or in the future, whether that's through praying, of course, giving, or some other ways.
First, I want to say thank you for Summit, for their big commitment, love and curiosity, commitment. For us, it's a big thing, really. It's not only money, but the heart that we are seeing from Summit Church members. So I want to thank you them. And if I get a chance to meet all in person, I would love to hug everyone and to say thank you. Because it's their support means a lot. And bringing many changes in many lives. Not only directly to the children they are supporting, the families they are supporting, but also the neighbors, the relatives also are impacted by the support of the team from Summit Church. And for the next steps, still we need you to be together with us in order to being a light and a salt, as the Bible told us. And we want to go to the destitute people to share their pain. So I want to ask you, everyone, to be together with us, to pray for our program, and to say to support what we are in need of to bring a change in the community that we want to bring a change in their life. So whatever the ideas, not only many ideas, idea also matters for us. And even anyone, if they want to come to be a volunteer for 1 year, 2 years, we would love that. We are asking someone to come together, to come here and working for 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, whatever, as a volunteer staff. And I'm inviting people from Summit Church, if you are a volunteer, to come to work with us for 1 year, 2 years, whatever, 5 years, whatever, 10 years, whatever. I'm inviting you to come together and work in iCare office to bring a designed goal.
That's wonderful, wonderful. Yes. Are there other ways, sponsorship, is that still something that we can do from Summit? Child sponsorship.
Yeah. Also, as I told you in the beginning, we have 300 children in our care point, but 53 kids are only sponsored, and the rest are on waiting list. You have no idea how much it's painful for them, and for us too. Sometimes when the kid is having a sponsor, getting something from the project, and the rest 147 children couldn't get because they are not sponsored. That creates a pain for them, and the pain for us too. We can't explain how we are supporting in the future, because we don't know when we are sponsors from the kids. Not only for the waiting list, the children on our waiting list, 147, not only 147, but also many kids are around us that need a sponsorship program. Helps a lot for the family and the kids, even mentally, socially, and economically. So if there are volunteers to sponsor our kids 147 plus, please, I say welcome, and please sponsor the other kids who have no sponsors yet. This is what I want to tell you. It's a painful story for the unsponsored kids when they are seeing sponsored kids getting something from the project, but they don't have. So please, I'm asking you, please make sponsors and take sponsorship program and sponsor a kids that we have on our list, on our waiting list, and the other who are expected to be supported. So I'm inviting you to sponsor a kids in our project.
Wonderful. Yes. Hopefully we can do more of that through Summit, and even bringing volunteers to come and be with iCare for some extended time. That would be really good. Well, thank you so much, Aini. Thank you so much for your time and being on this call with me. We're so grateful for you and the work that you and the staff and the volunteers at iCare are doing. We will continue to lift you up with prayer, and we bless you all. And we thank those for watching, for participating today.
Thank you very much, too. Thank you very much.